As content creators, sometimes we don't get to choose the books that we read. Sometimes the videos dictate what we're reading. And sometimes because of that, the books are kind of mediocre. And so today I'm on the hunt for a 5-star read. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is 4 Paws in a Book. I make bookish videos over here on my little corner of the internet. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Today I'm going to talk to you about 5 books that I think potentially could be 5 stars. And in the past, I have not had great luck with finding books that are 5 stars, or at least predicting the books that are going to be 5 stars. If you check out my last vlog, there was one that was on my worst books of the year. So I thought it was going to be 5 stars and it was the opposite. So there's that. So I don't have necessarily a great track record here, but we're going to try again. I've got fantasy on here. I've got romance. I've got fantasy romance and then some horror / thriller. I don't really know where one of them lies. We'll find out. But I'm trying to go off of authors I've read from before or books that have been highly praised by people that have really similar reading tastes to me. So without further ado, let me tell you what books that I think I'm going to give 5 stars, and then at some point you'll see a part 2 with a vlog from these books. Now, this first one is definitely risky because it is a debut author, and those ones are really hard to predict because obviously you haven't read from them before, but also debut authors, like they have to grow in their craft, right? So saying that I'm going to give a debut author is risky, but I have faith in this one. And that's because I've heard several people talk about it in a way that just sounds perfect for me. And that's going to be The September House by Carissa Orlando. This is a horror that is kind of comped to the TV show Ghost. That's one of my favorite shows. That one is so funny, and I have a feeling this is going to kind of have that same paranormal humor to it. The tagline says, "A woman is determined to stay in her dream home even after it becomes a haunted nightmare." So she moves into this house, and you know, moving is hard. There's a lot that goes into it, and they're finally moved in, they're finally settled. Guess what? It's haunted. There are ghosts that live there. And she's like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to stay anyways. So I think it's going to be a really good time. I'm hoping that it has some humor to it, but I think that there's also going to be some like familial drama to it. After 4 years, Margaret has learned how to live with her house. It's her house after all. But Hal, who's her husband, can't take it anymore, and he leaves abruptly. Now he's not returning calls, and their daughter Catherine knows nothing about the haunting, arrives intent on looking for her missing father. Oh, so he goes missing. Okay, we could get dark. All right. Well, anyways, I'm not going to read anymore because I don't want to be spoiled. But this is the first one that I think I'm going to give 5 stars to. Next up, I've definitely been on a fantasy romance kick. The last 5-star book that I gave was fantasy romance. So like maybe I'm still just trying to ride that high. But I keep hearing people talk about this one. And I have FOMO. And so that is going to be A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen. This is a book that I will probably be getting to like sooner rather than later. It'll probably be the first book that I read for the vlog. This is a fantasy romance. It's Viking inspired, but obviously like with Norse like mythology, like the Norse mythology side of Vikings, not necessarily like killing people. I don't know, maybe. I think it's going to be very political. I think that there is like some gods, a shield maiden blessed by the gods battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king while fighting her growing desire for his fiery son. Should be a fun time, and I've heard so many people really, really love this book. So I have a little bit of FOMO. I'm going to put this author on this list again, even though she's done me dirty. But this is the first book in a series, and I generally like the first books in her series. And that book is going to be A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. This is a book that's like been around for a while. I think it came out like 2019. So it has been around for a while. And I remember when it came out, everyone was talking about it. Everyone was giving it 5 stars. This is queer and poly and like a bunch of college kids just doing crazy college things. Once upon a time, 6 children stumbled upon a wild place hidden deep in the moors, shrouded by secrets and fog. Then we played a game, and among the roses and the thorns that would change us forever, that would follow us the rest of our lives. A game that ended with a hard kiss in the rain and tattered flower petals. And 12 years later, we're back. The heir, the dreamer, the priest, the genius, the socialite, the saint. Sierra is the one that I said I was going to give 5 stars to last time, and she ended up on my worst books of the year. So, she's done me dirty, but I trust her. I have a feeling I'm going to love this. I have a feeling that at least, if nothing else, it's going to be a good time. So, we're going to put it on the list. We're going to try one more time. Sierra, you have one more chance. Going back to horror, maybe thriller. I'm not sure if this is a horror or a thriller. But the next one is going to be Where He Can't Find You by Darcy Coates. This is Darcy's newest book, other than the fourth book of The Gravekeeper, because I think that one actually came out in February. But anyways, regardless, this is her newest standalone novel. We'll use that disclaimer. And the back of this book just sounds so good, so unsettling. Don't walk alone or the Stitcher will find you. Don't stay out late or the Stitcher will take you. Don't close your eyes or the Stitcher will remake you. And this is one of her YA books, and I have tended to like her YA books in the past, so I am excited for this one. It's about this like seemingly like serial killer-ish thing, but like has a thing for puppets. I don't really know. Sounds like it could be like a Criminal Minds episode, and I am kind of here for it. And I have not given Darcy less than 3 stars, and that was only one book. Most of them sit in the 4 or 5 range. So, I feel like this is kind of a shoo-in, but we'll see. And finally, a book that everyone has been talking about recently that I am really, really excited to pick up, and I think I potentially will like, and that is Feybound by Sarah Al-Arafi. And this is a book that Jan read. Specifically, she was like the first one that really picked it up and loved it, read it so quickly, and I immediately was hooked. There's so many buzzwords for me, and I feel like Jan and I have pretty similar taste, although like I probably should do a, Can I Trust Jan? Like do an episode for her. We'll have to see. But like we have some pretty similar taste on a lot of books. So I'm hopeful. We'll see how this one goes. And then maybe we'll do an episode for her. This has a lot of political intrigue, a lot of I think the brewings of a war, which like all buzzwords for me. 2 elven sisters become imprisoned in this intoxicating world of the Fae, where danger and love lie in wait. It sounds really good. It's the first book in a new trilogy. So like for once, maybe I can stay on top of things. Who knows? But I think I could potentially give this one 5 stars. All right, so those are the 5 books that I think I'm gonna give 5 stars to. Let me know down in the comments below the last book that you gave 5 stars to. And if you are not feeling chatty, do the ghost emoji for the September house. That is all I got for you today. If you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!